Okay, so the number one question I get asked every day. Have I seen the Russians yet? Have I seen the Russians? I usually say I've seen. I'll know when I've seen them when they bring me the bottle of vodka. Okay. All right.
28.
All right, 28. Okay. All right, it's going to be a real party here. All right. So what I'm passing out to you is the simple answers, and I really want you to understand this. And I want you to take this message back to those that you talk to. All right. So the first side that I want you to look at is the one that says your vote. Because you've heard since prior to the 2016 presidential election about Russian and interference with the election process. Okay, first off, nationwide, there's only 2 documented cases where somebody got an intrusion into the statewide databases in Illinois and Arizona. Okay, but they did not change anybody's records. They just proved that they could get in. Okay. The other part is here in Florida, both the Secretary of State and last Friday morning I had breakfast with Congresswoman Val Demings, who serves on Intelligence Committee in the House, and she confirmed that she's not been told by any agency, federal agency, that there was an intrusion in Florida. Now there is the case of a phishing email that was opened by some counties, but it never infected anything. It did not go anywhere. All right, so I want to quickly clarify those misconceptions and about the protection of your vote and others. First, on your vote. Number one, since 2006, Florida went back to being a paper ballot state. So when you vote, you're voting on paper. And when you put your mark on the paper, your vote can't flip. Okay? It's a permanent mark. Okay? Now where the problem comes in is that, remember, our election process is decentralized to 50 states. And there are 50 different ways of elections being conducted. There are states like Georgia that is still using touch screens with no paper trail. And so when you hear the national people talk about votes flipping, they're talking about the touchscreen technology. Because on paper, it can't flip. Okay, so the first thing is we're a paper-based state. The second one is that machine that you go up and put the ballot into is an optical scanner. It is only plugged into the electrical outlet. There is no internet connection to that machine. So there's no way that somebody can modem into that machine and try to change the results. Okay? And then they would have to change it in the software and not the ballot. Now at the end of the night, at every polling place, they do modem the results to us, but before they modem, they print out a set of results from the machine. So we have that hard copy to compare to what was modem. And from that standpoint, we can see if there's been any change. But the last point is, because it's paper, we can recreate the paper election at any time using the paper. And we are required to do an audit after the election where 1 to 2% of the precincts and one contest, we physically sit there and say, okay, candidate A, there's a ballot, B, another one for A, oh, this one overvoted, this one's for A. We lay them all out for that one contest for all methods of voting in that precinct, and we count. And ever since we started doing that, we've matched every time because we have paper and we can see the mark and we can recreate it, okay? So that's the bit about your vote. We're paper. So when somebody tells you they've seen they've seen their votes flip, ask them where they came from and what type of system do they use. Because in Florida, it's paper all the time. On the other side, it talks about your voter registration status. Okay. First thing, anybody can go to ocfelections.com, which is our website, or you can go to the State Division of Elections website, and you can look up your voter registration. So you can verify that it's there. You can verify your address is right. You can verify your political party affiliation on it. So you can verify. Now, we're always taking and backing up our system on multiple servers. The state's backing up theirs, multiple servers that we use. So they have to make sure that they get to everything, because we can monitor what they're doing. And that's one of the things we're doing with our federal money, is increasing the monitoring of our system. The second point on there is when you go to vote, when you check in, your name is there, you proceed through. If your name's not there, then they do a search, especially if you've moved, had a name change, whatever, they do the search, and if they find you, then you get to vote there, or you're sent to another place. But the key thing here is, what most people don't know, but now we have to start sharing all of our secrets on how we prevent things. There's a group of people called circuit riders who come to the elections office at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then they go out and they deliver to every polling place before the polls open a red maroon bag, and inside that bag is a printed list of all the registered voters in that precinct. So if you think they can get into those tablets and try to do something, if your name's not there, then the last point on here is there's a thing called a provisional ballot. And so they'll let you vote, then they'll come back to us to do the research. Okay, we've got the paper records where you've registered on paper, and we can verify it that way, and so your provisional will get counted. So I wanted you to understand that there are multiple ways that we are protecting your vote and making sure you're eligible to vote.